Good morning, friends. So today I want to get right into it. I was doing my morning devotions. I'm in Acts. I know I've read this passage before, but something hit me this morning. When you're feeling less than, I'm in Acts 4, and it's about, good morning, Stephanie. It's about Peter and John, and they are healing people. They're talking to people about God. They're talking about salvation. And what really dawned on me, and I read it in both versions, so I'm going to read it to you guys because it was so ridiculously powerful to me this morning. It says, salvation, this is New King James Version. Salvation is found in no one else, for there is no other name in heaven given to men. The wind is not helping me this morning. By which we must be saved. When they saw the courage of Peter and John and realized they were unschooled, ordinary men, they were astonished and took note that these men had been with Jesus. Can I please tell you how exciting that was to me? And I'm going to read you the King James Version because it's a little bit more intense. So verse 12 says, neither is there salvation in any other form. There is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. Now this is where it gets good. Talk about insulting. Now, when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Jesus. Can I please tell you right now that it does not matter what degree you have. It does not matter what level of education that you have. It doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter if you can do quantum physics or reprogram things, or if you are just a humble servant. God can use you to reach people. And I think that this was so powerful for me because, yes, I hold degrees from big universities, but that doesn't make me smart. Actually, if I go back and I looked at my financial aspect of this, I would tell myself that actually makes me look pretty ignorant. But what I want to say this morning, good morning, Alicia, is that God uses people that are ordinary people to do extraordinary things. And I read it over and over and over again this morning, and I was like, what am I supposed to tell people? What is it that this is giving me? And I was just blown away at the power of God. If you are willing to be a vessel and be a voice and be an encouragement, it doesn't matter what you know or who you know or any of these things. And I think it's really interesting in the world today because goes on to verse 23 through 26. And this hit me too, because the climate of the world right now is super negative. It's super degrading. It can be super low. In my circle, I'm like, we're Princess Positivity over here. But I'm not naive to the things that are happening in the world. Just because I can be in my positive bubble does not mean that the external things don't affect me. And I know that there's a lot of people like that right now. And there's nothing we can do about what's happening in the world. But there are things that we can do inside ourselves and inside our circle that can keep us positive, that can keep us blessing others, right? So this is what I wanted. It said, when they heard, okay, let me read this little part. It says a believer's prayer, right? It says, on their release. So Peter and John were then taken into, in front of the bigwigs, right? Let's just talk about it like government or the police or something like that, right? They're taking into the authority. And they release them because they're like, you know what? You guys shouldn't be doing these things or saying these things or healing people. Don't do it. You shouldn't be doing that, okay? So I think about it some ways in myself. I struggle some mornings to come on here and talk about Jesus because, let's be honest, Facebook censors. Hi, Facebook, censor me. I don't care. I'll upload it somewhere else. But like, it's nerve-wracking in the world because you know what? You're going to get shut down. You're going to be told no. You're going to be told that what you have to say isn't what the people want to hear. Who cares, right? I don't care anymore. I really don't. So I'm going to share with you about what they said. So they basically chastise Peter and John and say, you can't do that anymore. You can't say that. Where have we heard that before? Huh. We don't have any of that going on in our world right now, do we? Yeah, we do. So schools, hashtag schools. So here's one. It says, on their release, Peter and John went back to their own people. So all the people, their positive circle, right? They went back to their positive circle. And they reported all that the chief priests and the elders had said to them. When they heard this, they raised their voices together in prayer to God, the sovereign Lord. They said, you made the heavens and the earth and the sea and everything in them. You spoke by the Holy Spirit through the mouths of your servant, our father David. This is where it gets good. Why do the nations rage and the people plot in vain? The kings of the earth take their stand, and the rulers gather together against the Lord. Does this feel kind of like the times right now a little bit? Feels a little dark where I'm at. And against his anointed one. Hashtag lockdowns. Hashtag forced masks. Hashtag, we're not free. So I want you to feel like if this is something that's been like on you, you feel dark, you feel oppressed. I know we still live in one of the greatest nations in the world, and our oppression is still nothing like that of other places. I get it. But we have an opportunity to keep ourselves free. And just like Peter and John, we need to use our voices. We need to use what we know in our hearts. We need to use our minds. Although Peter and John apparently were ignorant, I'm okay with that. Let's be ignorant. Because the reality of life is we only get what we put in. Right? Exactly. Like, we have so many things going on in this world. Good morning, Kristen. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Katie. We have so many things going on, but there are things that we can control. There are things that we have the ability to focus on and make a difference in. So this morning, I want to encourage you to be courageous and bold despite maybe our levels of ignorance in this world. And I'm okay with that. People hated Jesus and people can hate me. I'm okay with that. I've been hated for a really long time by a lot of people that shouldn't have even had an opinion. But if you've known me longer than, 5th grade, you know my stories. But I want to tell you today that there is excitement in doing what it is that maybe stands against the normal, because God's going to bless people that are willing to stand up for what is right and encourage others to do the same. And it's not going to be easy. In fact, I can tell you that it's actually terribly difficult, and that's okay. But find yourself a positive pod and embrace this, and it will be worth it. Because I don't know about you, but we were blessed to grow up in the land of the free because of the brave. And if Peter and John don't tell us anything about being courageous and bold and brave, I don't know what will. So I hope everybody has a blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow.